Lie was that I was pregnant. Hello there, my gems. Welcome to my channel and to another video. If you are new here, please don't forget to subscribe and to hit the notification bell so you know when I post the next video. As to the title below, this video would be about me sharing with you how I found out I was 6 weeks pregnant after being diagnosed with PCOS. If you guys hear her laughing in the background, it's my daughter, Treasure. So yeah, she's just entertaining me and cheering me on right now. But anyway, before I get into today's video, I would like for you guys to just take a moment and bask with me in the beauty of this hairstyle. What do you guys think about it? Treasure seems to like it, and I like it. I did it myself, you know. It's a faux look. It's distressed, if I should tell you, you know, a little bit of distressness to it. So yeah, I created this look, well, for myself. So I did it. So if you guys are interested in having your hair done like this or some other way, hit me up. Your girl can sort you out. Okay? So without further ado, let's get into today's video. So about November or close early December of 2021, I had a serious acne flare. I mean, my face broke out in a way that I never would have imagined. I have the acne on the surface of my skin, you know, but then when I touched my skin below the surface of that, there were like fine clusters of bump, like very small clusters of bump beneath the surface of my skin. I was like wondering, how is that even possible? What is really happening? And because of this, I had to visit the dermatologist because I wasn't sure what was happening to me right now. So I needed to visit the dermatologist to have this situation rectified. Now, upon visiting the dermatologist and explaining to him my situation and everything, he said to me that there's a possibility that I could have PCOS, which is polycystic ovarian syndrome. So he then went ahead to ask me if I had any plans on having children. I said, yes, I do have plans on having children, you know, somewhere in the future and such and such. Then he was saying, you know, that could be a possible way in which to rectify my acne problem. And I said to him, well, I don't want to get pregnant in order to fix my face. So please suggest something else. He was like, okay, there's a couple of medications that he could prescribe for me in order to use, you know, to help solve the problem. So he prescribed some oral and topical medications for me to use, and I kind of used them over a 2-month period and stopped using them because I realized that they weren't doing much for me. I will show you or insert clippings of what my face looked like through the process of using this medication, before and after using the medication, that is. So it's forwarding now into May. So about May 9th of 2022, I start experiencing this excruciating lower back, mid-abdomen pain. I mean, it was severe to the point where cramps, regular menstrual cramps that I would have, it surpassed that. And I generally don't normally get cramps when I'm on my period, but this pain surpassed the regular cramps one would get. And people, it lasted for over an hour and a half. My mother, she gave me turmeric tea or some ginger tea in order to help ease the pain, but it didn't. And in the moment of me having this pain and this episode, my mother recalled a similar episode that I went through. So she suggested to me, or well, she asked me if it was possible that I was pregnant. She then suggested that I should go and do a pregnancy test and an ultrasound in order to verify if that is the case. So I went ahead about the day after. I did a pregnancy test. The pregnancy test showed that it was positive. But for me, I just did not come to grasp with it. I just could not believe that it was so, because I've done a pregnancy test before and it did show positive. But when I did an ultrasound, nothing was there. So I was thinking it's something similar, right? So did the test showed positive. and I still needed to be reassured with an ultrasound. So I went ahead and did an ultrasound, and to my astonishment, guys, the ultrasound showed that I was all of 6 weeks pregnant. Can you believe it? 6 weeks pregnant. Mind you, I had no form of emotions. I wasn't happy, I wasn't sad. I was just shocked and in bewilderment as to the fact that I am pregnant. Yes, I'm pregnant. Let me give you a story. Before the episode of me feeling this pain, about May 7th, I went on a boat ride with my cousin and some of her friends, right, in Ochi. So we went down, you know, enjoyed our little self, and it was, you know, it was quite a good little outing and so forth. After the boat ride, you know, we were in Ochi and we said, oh, we're there in Ochi, let us, you know, chill a little while longer. So we visited a place. I don't remember the name of the place. If I do, I will put it there. We visited this place and we said we're gonna hold some hold a drink and hold a vibes, and you know, at this location. But while we were there, we decided to play a game, and the game that we decided to play is called Two Truths and a Lie. Now, when it came to my turn, my 2 truths were that I am a twin and that I've traveled outside of Jamaica. Now, my lie was that I was pregnant. Yes, people, my lie was that I was pregnant. Now, who would have thought that 2 days, was it 2 days? That my lie, who would have thought that my lie would have turned out to actually be all of 6 weeks true? Because I was not aware that I was. Mind you, I was on this boat ride, I was drinking, right? Not heavily, but I was drinking. And prior to that boat ride, I've been out and I've had quite a few drinks. So at this point, after learning that I was pregnant, I was very much so concerned as to what damage I could have posed to this child. At this point, Google became my best friend, because I was Googling away all sorts of things, trying to ensure that this pregnancy was top notch and it was okay, and that I was eating right. I was not eating things that I shouldn't be eating in large amounts. For example, mercury, because they say mercury can have, you know, can cause birth defects and etc. Right? So the fact that I had alcohol consumption, I was like worried as to what effect it may have had on the child, on the fetus. And I just went paranoid, and Google was my friend, and Google added to my paranoia, to be honest, because when I would go to my OBGYN to do my regular checkups and stuff, and mentioning or telling her how I was feeling and the concerns that I had, she was like, don't worry about it, everything seems to be okay, everything is all checked and there's nothing to worry about. So my OBGYN kind of, you know, bring some comfort to me and help me to settle my mind and myself. Okay, so now it was time to tell my family and my partner about the news. So I told my partner first that I was pregnant, and he was more than ecstatic. He was overjoyed. He was very much so happy because it was his first. He also went ahead to explain to me that between the period of April into May, he was feeling very tired and exhausted and lack of energy, you know, not wanting to do anything in that period. So he was now saying that he tied it to the fact that, oh, because I was pregnant, he was then feeling those symptoms that I was, because I wasn't feeling any of those symptoms. He felt those symptoms. So let me know in the comments if it is that men, when your spouse is pregnant, your girlfriend or your wife, whenever they are pregnant, if you experience any of those symptoms that they would normally feel in the first trimester of the pregnancy. Let me know in the comments if that is the case. Now, after telling my partner, I then told my mother, or confirmed with my mother, that yes, indeed, I am pregnant, because she was the one that suggested that I did a pregnancy test and do an ultrasound, but I didn't give her the results in just as I did them, right? So I told her, she congratulated me, and she was also happy for me, and then asked me when I was going to let the rest of the family know. I said to her, would it be possible if you could tell them for me? And she was like, no, that's not my business to tell, that's yours, so you should tell them. So I had to put my big girl panties on and express this news to the rest of my family, which was my family within my household, right? The immediate ones there. And so I did. I let them know that, hey guys, I'm pregnant. Now, my aunt, she was like, oh, she knew that I was, because she realized that I was getting fat around the waist. And she was secretly nudging to my cousin this information. To my astonishment, or to my surprise, they all were very much so happy for me. And it kind of took me by surprise, because I wasn't sure they would have been. Being that I was now practically halfway through my first semester, I really didn't experience any form of complications medically. I had no issues throughout the pregnancy. I had no swollen ankles. You know, my blood pressure was always on normal. Whenever I go to my OBGYN for checkups, it was pretty much normal. Everything was pretty much normal. It was good pregnancy. I just had to ensure that I maintained my weight. I wasn't overeating or eating, excessively. I didn't put on much weight, guys, but I gradually, steadily put on the required amount of weight, it seems like. So, yeah, I had a good pregnancy. And obviously, I also had a good delivery, because that's a story that you guys will definitely want to hear. Forgot to mention to you guys, around the time when I learned that I was pregnant, and knowing that I had been drinking a few drinks, around the time while I was pregnant, ever since after learning that I was pregnant, I prayed over my belly morning, noon, and night. I anointed it. I put it into God's hand, because me I say, yo, I cannot afford for this child to come out having any form of disabilities or any. I could not afford for that, so I had to put it into God's hand and ask him to fix whatever is wrong within my body through the growth cause of this child, because it would be my fault. It would definitely be my fault, and I would not be able to forgive myself if I did something, whatever it is that I did would have caused harm to the fetus. I would not be able to forgive myself. So I turned it over to God. I prayed over my belly. I anointed my belly. So, girl went down into prayer, and God came through for me. Thank you, Jesus. He came through for me. He came through for my little girl, and we are thankful. So yes, guys, that's pretty much the full story. Now, the next story that I have to share with you is basically how things were with me through the various trimesters stages, right? As I said, I was already halfway through my first trimester when I found out I was pregnant. I mean, 6 weeks, they're both kind of halfway through, and the first trimester went on very good. It was, smooth sailing. It was when I hit my second trimester that things kind of made a turn for the worse. And that story you definitely want to hear about, and how it is that I coped with depression through the rest of my pregnancy. So thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.